This is probably the most impressive crotch goblin I've ever had in The Sims 4. So last time we talked, Autumn Kealoha, the heir of my legacy challenge, did nothing while her mother and our founder, Alexis Volkov, went to dinner with her husband, Christopher Volkov, at a restaurant in San Myshuno, the two of them having a heart-to-heart about Alexis's impending death and her choice to not become immortal. Alexis and Chris would be heading back home today from their Mount Komorebi vacation, just in time to celebrate their daughter-in-law Shanna Kealoha's birthday, her aging up to an adult. Her brother Zayden Kibo escorted his girlfriend Right to remain silent Volkov back home after the two spent the night together at his Evergreen Harbor apartment. Zayden would have stayed to talk with his sister, but she had other places to be anyways. After seeking help for her mental health and taking these new meds, she was feeling much more like herself, and for the first time in a while, Nicole felt genuine peace, because tonight there would be a full moon, and her chance to harvest the moon petal and get started on creating the cure. Our heir Autumn was in the mood to torture her son Sage with just a bit more tummy time. His dramatic ass was doing so well that he reached the rollover to back milestone. Autumn gave him a break so she can get a second job. Sage is only getting older, and with the money coming in from her freelancing gigs, Autumn was feeling confident that her and Shanna would soon be ready to buy a house. Getting a second job would help speed that up. She joined the civil designer career. Jesus Zayden, didn't you just do that all night? Autumn was already hit with a work task as she introduced her son to sitting up for the first time. He was doing really well from the start. He liked the view from up here. He wasn't fussing or anything. He seemed pretty content. Autumn was so proud of him. They could definitely practice a bit more later. Shanna got back from the doctor, with both her physical and mental health looking great. Racially motivated, was getting herself a job as well. She's always wanted to visit Sulani, considering she has the child of the island's trait, so she signed herself up to be an oceanographer. Since it was the night of the full moon, Nicole had to stay calm in order to get that moon petal. She thought a brisk walk could help. Shanna was feeling so optimistic and relaxed, so she read one of her tomes while watching Autumn introduce Sage to toys. He was just so fascinated with his ugly low-poly butterfly. So fascinated that he gained 2 more milestones, laugh and grab. So proud of my little pet sperm. Alexis and Chris were back home. Our founder missed our heir and all of her children so much. She was ecstatic to see how much Sage had grown since she left. She wanted to spend some time with him, so she gave him a bubble bath, awarding him with his 4th and 5th milestones of the day. Wait, that's his first bath ever. I'm surprised CPS hadn't shown up. After his bath, Alexis put her grandson to sleep, giving his mother the perfect opportunity to get started on another gig. Nicole was still on her walk, going around town and picking flowers, but she could feel the stress from the full moon begin to creep up on her. She couldn't let it. She needed to be in control. And emo Clint was starting on his second song. He recorded himself singing his unfinished song, Blonde, Adopted, and Misunderstood. I can't even lie, the man got pipes. Alexis was back on her bullshit, speed running her rocket building as quickly as she could. She felt it in her ancient bones that she didn't have much time left and was dedicated to going to Sixam before she dies. She wasn't putting in all this effort for nothing. Clint was beginning to earn royalties from his 2 new songs, and Shanna learned a new spell, Necrocal. Our girl is getting closer to reviving Jacob. Chris began planning for the family vacation he and Alexis talked about, and in order to do that, he needed to book another gig and make some more money quickly. Autumn tended to her garden and recycled, while Round Table became good friends with her boyfriends. Brother Dexter Kibo. Interesting. Shanna was a bit pissed at her wife Autumn the past few days for not noticing how sad she was, but it wasn't like Shanna to be pissed. She had been debating whether or not to confront her, but now that she was feeling better, she decided not to. Autumn had been through so much in her life and was finally blessed with a miracle, their son Sage. She was so happy and so focused on him. That didn't mean she didn't care about her. She would let it go, but would confront her if it ever happens again. Clint was telling Autumn and Shanna how his songs are getting some traction and making some money, and that was Shanna's cue to get the fuck out of the house and go shopping in the magic realm. She was going to try something new today, binding herself to a familiar, and there was one familiar in particular that she really wanted. Clint's trait is changing from hot-headed to cheerful. Wow, maybe being emo really is the cure. Shanna was feeling cheerful too as she got back home and binded her new raven familiar Daria to her. That thing is hideous. Nicole was feeling both tense and sad as the day was beginning to come to an end. Meanwhile, Rocket Mortgage was giddy as she played with her nephew Sage. He was so damn cute. This baby fever of hers wasn't going anywhere, that's for sure. Since her and Zayden are together, they both have jobs, and Zayden has a place of his own. Maybe she should bring up having a baby with him. She loved the idea of carrying a little Zayden inside her. I'm guessing he's responding to comments. Sage gained his 6th milestone. If you wanted to outshine your Uncle Edward, you've certainly done it, Addison. I am sick of you and your mysterious ass texts. Is there something you want to say? Nicole? Is everything alright, girl? Well, I hated that. Emo Clint influenced some of his emo-ness upon his nephew before putting him in his room, and that's when Sage earned his 7th milestone. Sit up. See what happens when lesbians raise boys. They thrive. Autumn was still making money for her family as the sun began to set, and Shanna decided she would introduce her son to a dinner of solid food. She whipped out a jar of banana, cinnamon, and granola baby food for him to try. He absolutely loved it, giving him his 8th milestone of the day, first food. She fed him the rest of the food after he was done playing with it. Shanna was feeling so much better, so excited to give her son new things to try. And since it was finally night time, that meant Nicole could finally harvest the moon petal on top of Moonwood Cliff. It looked stunning, almost too pretty to pick, but it was now or never. And though she was sure about not wanting to be a werewolf any longer, life as a boring human didn't seem right to Nicole either. Maybe she should consider something else. Maybe she should consider being just like her fiancé Caleb. Feeling little emotion sounds great. Eternity with him sounds great, but it also sounds scary. But she knew for sure she was done being a wolf. And if she wanted to be a vampire like Caleb, she needed to get it done fast, before her birthday next week. She didn't want to be older than Caleb for forever.